Good hearing. I will say this, every now and then you will see some people move in and out, go outdoors. You haven't made anybody mad. It's just we got a lot of people, a lot of committee hearings going on today, so that'll happen, okay? I now recognize myself for 5 minutes. Mr. Crane, your organization has highlighted how excessive federal regulations stifle small manufacturers. Can you discuss how reducing red tape would directly improve the competitiveness of small and medium-sized manufacturers nationwide?
Absolutely. Thank you for that question, Mr. Chairman. As you mentioned in your opening remarks, small manufacturers bear the brunt of the federal regulatory burden that our industry faces. As an industry writ large, we face about $350 billion every year in federal regulatory cost. For small manufacturers, it's about $50,000 per employee per year. We don't always have in-house, I'm sure the small manufacturers on the panel can speak to this, in-house counsel, in-house accountants to comply with those burdens. So you've got to hire out expensive consultants. And those are resources that are diverted from more productive uses, growing your business, investing in R&D, hiring new people, purchasing capital equipment. These are the pro-growth activities that drive the industry. And so dollars diverted from those to regulatory burdens that don't really work for small manufacturers anyway is really wasted cost.
Mr. Mosier, the 2025 reshoring survey reveals that 30% of original equipment manufacturers have reshored or working to reshore their operation in the last 10 years, and 43% of contract manufacturers have reshored or are actively reshoring for their customers. And you touched a little bit about that. What are the benefits of reshoring to the United States for manufacturers and for the U.S. economy as a whole?
You've got to remember this. For the country, it's very obvious. It's more jobs. It's less income inequality. It's better, smaller budget deficit. It's defense preparedness. You know, almost everything that should be on our priority list is achieved by the reshoring. For the companies, it's a quicker delivery. It's the benefit of having engineering and manufacturing close to each other, able to speak in the same language and optimize both the design of the product and the process for making the product. It's delivery, for example. The survey showed that U.S. manufacturers were willing to pay many of them are willing to pay 10 to 20% more for a 1-week delivery instead of a 6-week delivery. So if you make it here, you bring some extra value to your customers. So I've got a much longer list than that, but those are the primary benefits.
Thank you. Mr. Voss, what barriers do small manufacturers like Merilux face when trying to adopt automation and advanced manufacturing tools?
By the way, I'd add one thing to reshoring, that's just having control of your future. And as organizations that are looking to build sustainable companies, you want to be able to control your future, and reshoring certainly does that and was primary in my mind in doing that. As it relates to your question, Mr. Williams, I think it's education more than anything, not only for the workforce, but for us. I think we're all learning how we can use that automation and AI, et cetera. And a lot of us are taking fast-track courses through various sources to be able to do that and stay ahead. At the end of the day, we're all in a competitive world and a competitive environment, and no different than being out in the woods with 10 of your friends and a bear shows up. You got to make sure you can run faster than a couple of your friends. Well, it's the same thing in business, and that responds to your question. But we're going to have to do that if we're going to remain competitive for sure.
Thank you. Last question, Mr. Crane. Small manufacturers are key to modernizing American manufacturing. So what are you hearing from NAM members about workforce development opportunities and to ensure that they can train and retain talent for the next generation of manufacturers?
Having skilled workers is absolutely an imperative for manufacturers, and specifically we need manufacturing skilled workers to fill the 400,000 open jobs that we have. These are machinists, they're technicians, they're welders, they're electricians that make our factory floors run. And so the manufacturing industry has invested heavily in training and upskilling programs to ensure that we can meet that workforce need. What we need from federal policymakers is to do their part. to ensure that our companies have the resources to offer those programs, to ensure that federal agencies are supporting programs, to do education efforts as low as middle and high school to talk about the promise of a manufacturing career. There's so much to be done on the domestic workforce side and on the immigration side to ensure that we have workers and that we have skilled workers for the manufacturing industry of the future.
All right, my time is up, and I now recognize the ranking member